Doctors have told Yazmin Oukhellou that she may never fully regain use of her right arm, which was injured during a horror crash which killed her boyfriend Jake McLean. Yazmin, 28, survived the early hours crash when their Mercedes car plunged off a cliff in Turkey in the early hours Sunday, July 3. But her life will be dramatically different since that night, as she faces a lifelong injury from which she may never fully recover. Since returning to the UK, she appeared with her right arm in a padded sling and has told she has suffered awful scarring. Tragically, her Jake, 33, died at the scene of the crash. Speaking of her potentially life-altering injury, she told The Sun, "I could have been like Jake and not survived, so I'm just very grateful and lucky that if that's the worst-case scenario, I will deal with it as best I can. The scarring that I have is awful, so I will always have that as a reminder. But at least I'm still alive." She told how she nodded off on the drive up to a friend's villa after enjoying a perfect dinner with pals, but woke as their car veered off a cliff. After being spun like inside a washing machine and fueled by adrenaline, she snapped her own arm to escape the hillside wreckage as her boyfriend lay unresponsive. She climbed up to the road and incredibly managed to hold her arm together with her left hand before a passerby gave her his shirt to stem the bleeding. And despite her own injuries, her thoughts were immediately on Jake, who was still unconscious, so she climbed down to check for a pulse as the emergency services arrived. She also shared how doctors told her that by being asleep it relaxes the body and she may not have survived otherwise. Yazmin, who has returned to the UK, is taking a break from social media and focusing on her recovery and grief. She continued, "I'm staying away from social settings, I've stopped logging into social media, and I've changed my mobile number. For now, I just need to focus on getting well again and dealing with what has happened."